I would like to create a context for the day where it could give you a framework for how to get the most out of today. So there's these different roles that we have in each other's lives, and when I think about who influences you, like one of the most important questions we ask today is, who influences you, and who influences your influence? You know, we do become the sum total of the people that influence us the most. Like, and how conscious are you of who's influencing you? And what type of influence do you allow into your life? When I was thinking about this, I thought, you know, I really have 5 different types of people who influence me in different ways. I have cheerleaders, people who cheer me on, who are there to say, yeah, you can do it. My daughter, Tracy, she needs a cheerleader. She needs, when I talk to her, she does not need me to mentor, coach, be her friend, be her catfish. She needs me to be her cheerleader. She just wants me to cheer her on. And I'm really clear that that's a role that she really wants from her daddy, is to be a cheerleader. And so I ask you, like, in your life, who's your cheerleader? It's like in your business, who's cheering you on? Unconditionally, like, yeah, go, you got this, you can do it, no matter what, get it, go for it. Like the cheerleader. And then another part of that question is who are you a cheerleader for in your life? And then another role is mentor. You know, a mentor is a person who actually is more of a model of who you aspire to be. Who's your model? Who's your mentors? Like I was saying earlier, we have access to some of the most amazing people on the planet. There's on YouTube, there's a talk from Charlie Munger, who's 96 years old, and he's on YouTube for an hour and a half talking to a group of investors. And I'm watching this 2 days after it was filmed, and I'm going, that is who I want to be when I'm 94. I want to have that type of perspective on life. You know, it was so refreshing to see a 94-year-old guy who's thinking like razor sharp and then giving it away to people. And so who's your mentor? Or who are your mentors? Who do you aspire to be? And who are the mentors in your life? And then there's coaches. Coaches are the people who give you direction when you need it. They give you guidance. And sometimes it's a gentle nudge, and sometimes it's a swift kick in the ass. Like, you got to get going in this direction. Coaches. Who are you coaching? Who's coaching you? And then the next role is friends. Friends that, you know, I'm so blessed because I have such good friends inside this community here that I can pick up the phone and talk to 15 or 20 of you at any time and feel the friendship, feel that love, that unconditional love. And where I'm not looking for advice from you, I just want to connect with somebody and connect in a way that I feel seen and heard and part of something, a friend. So who are you a friend to, and who are your friends? And then there's the catfish. You remember the story of the catfish? Well, the catfish is the arch enemy of the codfish. Maybe you've heard this story. This is way back in the 1800s when they would ship the codfish that they would catch on the East Coast. They'd ship them by railroad cart to the West Coast, and they would arrive in these big containers, water containers, and they were flaky and soft and not real good fish by the time they made it across the country. And somebody identified that the arch enemy of the codfish is the catfish. So they'd throw a couple catfish into the tank, and these codfish would have to swim the entire time. So when they got into port, they were real fresh. And so who is your catfish? Like, who's keeping you on your toes? Now, sometimes you may feel aggravated or frustrated by that person, but really what they're doing is they're keeping you awake. They're keeping you swimming. They're keeping you moving. And so who are you a catfish for? And who is your catfish in your life? Now, you've heard that story, the 5 people that you meet in heaven. How many of you have ever read that book, The 5 People? Well, let's say these are the 5 people that will make your life happier while you're on earth. If you have in your life cheerleaders, mentors, coaches, friends, and catfish. And so it's just an exploration. And inside this room, who's your cheerleader? Inside this room, who's your mentor? Inside this room, who's your coaches? Who's inside this room? Who are your friends? Inside this room, who's your catfish? And that's, you know, as you commingle with each other today and, interact and stuff, like, what role do you want people to play? I'll even say to Olivia, Olivia, what do you need your dad to be? Do you want me to be your friend? Do you want me to be your coach, your mentor, your cheerleader, your catfish? Who do you want me to be? And it's a really important question, like, what do you need right now in your life? In this conversation, who do I need you to be? You're trying to coach me, but really what I need is a cheerleader. You're trying to be my friend. Would you be my catfish, please? You're not my mentor, you're my coach. Distinction. So, what's occurring for you when you hear this? What's coming up for you right now as I just present that thought to you? How many of you like the thought? There's a thought there. There's something that's stirring inside of you. What's stirring inside of you? Would you turn to the person next to you and just tell them what's coming up for you as you're listening to this right now? Person with the shorter shirt, have a conversation about it. What's the conversation you'd have about this? Can you possibly see that these different roles show up in different ways with your clients? When you're helping a buyer, seller, or borrower, sometimes they need you to be their cheerleader. Sometimes they need you to be their mentor. Sometimes they need you to be their coach. Sometimes they need you to be their friend. And sometimes you have to be their catfish. It's like these are the different ways that we show up for people. And what that means is that we have to expand our identity. Be more than who we are. Who do they need me to be for them? How do they need to be influenced? And that's broadening or opening your perspective to what your potential is in the lives of other people. And that's a big part of helping more people, is being more of a person to help people in different ways. So today, like, how can you show up in more ways than just the way you show up at BroVance? I'm here to get something or give something, but how can you show up more? So my encouragement to you today is, when you get into a dialogue, maybe open with, who do you need me to be? What do you need now? Or open up, here's what I need from you. Wouldn't it be a wonderful gift, Jesse? I just think of your daughters come to you and says, hey, Daddy, would you just be my cheerleader on this? Daddy, I need you to mentor me now. Would you coach me on this? I just need you to be a friend. And then finding the way that you connect with the people that you're with in a way that really makes them shine, brings the best out in them. So that's a good place to start today.